Now that we refreshed our database, if we try to create a new post, we actually see the page, but since we have no categories, we can actually go ahead and create a post without categories. So what I'm gonna do is, in my post controller, I'll insert a line of code that is gonna make sure there are actually categories in our database before we are trying to create a post. Okay, so we have the category right here. So what we're gonna do is actually get all the categories, and it will be category all right here, and that's an S. And as soon as we get all the categories, first we'd like to check if the categories count, and this is a helper method that Laravel gives us for collections. So categories count is equal to 0. Then we want to return the user back to the page where he's coming from and tell him that you must have some categories before trying to create a post. So how we do this? We'll just return, redirect back, and before that we're gonna set a session, and this session is not gonna be a success session, but it's gonna be an error session, okay, or maybe an info. So we'd say set an info, and this should be you must have some categories before attempting to create some post. Okay, so now that we've set that session, before we are able to actually see the session, we need to take care of that in our app.blade.php. So here we are checking if the session has a success. Let's check if the session has an info. So we say if it has info, get the info, and the method you're gonna call for toaster is gonna be info. So that looks great. Let's go ahead and try that out. I'm trying to visit my create new post route. It says you must have some categories before attempting to create a post. So it checks for the count, and the count is 0, and it returns us back. Okay, so let's create a new category. It's blank, so let's create a new category right here, and this will be WordPress 4.7, and store category. We have a success message. Let's try to create a new post. Now we have access to that. Okay, so that's just something little cool that we can use to protect our database. Okay, so make sure there are some categories, and then permit the user to access that page. Okay, so right here we can actually just substitute this with our categories right here. Okay, so just so we don't make 2 queries to the database. Okay, so that was something cool. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.